this. Oof! It happens. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. Okay, I'm done. All right. All right, what's up guys? In this video, we're gonna talk about how to drive a stick shift or a manual transmission. My version, I know there's probably thousands of videos out there, but I wanna make it quick and easy for you guys. We're just gonna get right to it. So if you've never driven a manual before, you gotta get in here, you got your 3 pedals right there, you got your clutch, you got your brake, and then you got your gas. And then you got your gear selector right here. And so, to start the car, you gotta put that clutch in. And then hit the start button. Before you hit the start button, you wanna make sure you're in neutral. And then you hit start, or turn the key. It's in neutral, I can let the clutch out. The exhaust should die down here a little bit. It's pretty loud, but. So now, you wanna get going, right? Your first time, you wanna get going. This is where everyone freaks out. There's nothing to be scared of. I have these guys at work that can't drive a manual, and they probably shouldn't be working there because it's part of the job to be able to drive cars. Everyone should know how to do this. So I'm not trying to be harsh on anyone. I'm just saying it's really simple. There's nothing complicated about it, and I will show you guys right now one of the biggest tips that helped me after I already learned to help teach other people. I'm gonna show you guys right now. And all you gotta do is put the clutch in all the way down, and then my right hand right here, I'm gonna go to first gear. I'm in first gear. I'm not even using my other leg. I'm just letting the clutch out slowly. I'm just gonna let that clutch out slowly. So I'll show you guys again. You don't even need to use the gas. The gas is something you learn later on. Once you get comfortable with that feeling of the clutch, every clutch is different. The BRZ FRS 86 is a great car to learn manual on because it's just meant for manuals. That's why I always give people crap for buying the automatic, because you're missing out. Like, this car's meant for manual. So again, the e-brake is the thing you're gonna have in a manual car too. Some of these manual cars have automatic e-brakes now, but regular hand brakes are the way to go, because then when you're in neutral, you don't have a way to stop yourself. So it's a habit in the manual car to use that e-brake. But once again, clutch in, select first gear, and I'm just slowly letting that clutch out. No gas, no gas. All right, so here's a different angle for you guys. So once again, I'm in neutral, e-brake's on, so I'm gonna go now. And this time I'm gonna give it a little bit of gas. So see, my foot's on the brake. So now I'm gonna put the clutch in. All right, clutch in, let off the brake, first gear, and I'm gonna let that clutch out and give it just a tiny bit of gas. See that? You don't even need to give it much gas at all. You don't even need to give it like much gas at all. Now I'm just coasting. So once you're comfortable coasting, go to a lot like this. This is like the perfect lot to learn how to drive manual. The thing with manual sometimes is when you're in a gear, you don't really need to hit the gas because it wants to keep rolling. And eventually it will just come to a stop. But look, even this car, like in this car, I'm not hitting the gas. This is just what happens when you drive a manual, because there's gears. This happens in automatics too, but I think automatic cars, they come to a stop a little, faster. The manual cars, I'll hit the gas just a little bit and you can feel it stopping. That's called engine braking. And that's a whole new concept too with manual. See it? It's just slowing me down a little bit there. So then once you get going, the hardest part about driving manual is getting going. And that's where you're gonna wear out your clutch the most, or if you ever smell a burnt clutch, it's usually because you're riding the clutch, which a lot of people do, is they hit the gas way too much and they don't even use the clutch. They're waiting way too much. You don't even need to hit the gas at all, really. Just slowly let that clutch out smoothly. That's all you need to do. But yeah, once you're in first gear and you get going, then it's easy. You shift the second. Yeah, I can shift a third right here. but it wants to be going at a higher speed. And the cool thing about manuals is it's all feel. Once you get the feel of it, that's it. But yeah, I guess we'll get out of this parking lot now, and I'll show you guys how to drive a little more aggressively if you have a sports car and you see all these guys on Facebook Reels and Instagram shifting fast and doing all that stuff. We'll do a little bit of that for you. I can't go too fast because I got a BRZ, so don't get your hopes up. And we're by a college, so we don't want to get in trouble. The college police are out here. All right, so now I'm driving in traffic, and I know this is where most people are going to be scared, and I get it, or you're going to be intimidated driving a manual in traffic, because what if you mess up? What if you stall? Don't worry about anybody. They're going to honk at your horn no matter what you do. So, you know, in a way, I like driving manuals because I think you're more alert than everyone on the road because you're paying more attention to your car. So there's a big benefit there. You know, with a manual, it's harder to eat in your car. It's harder to be on TikTok. It's harder to send texts. It's harder to do a lot of stuff because you got to... Right now I'm coming to a stop. This is another thing. When you come to a stop, you hit that brake until you feel like the motor is about to like almost die. Then you hit the clutch in finally. You don't want to coast too much with the clutch in because that wears it out. But yeah, easy driving through traffic. Second gear now. Third gear. That was a bad one right there. And what I did there is I let the clutch out too slow. I should have just let it out, but I rode it a little bit there, trying to show you guys something, and I messed up. So the thing with manuals too is you're never gonna get it perfect. It's a constant struggle to be like the perfect driver. And this car makes it hard too because it's, you know, it's more of a track car. But at the same time, it's totally a normal car. This is like driving any manual car. You drive a manual Toyota Corolla, it's going to be pretty similar to this. This is just more sporty, but you're never going to get it perfect. You know, I stall my car sometimes. It'll happen, but that shouldn't deter you from buying a manual car. I see all these posts online of these guys buying manual cars not knowing how to drive them, and it's funny, but it's also like I support that. I think that's great. There's one way to learn, and that's doing it. And another thing is, don't be afraid to like stall it. Don't be afraid to mess up, because it's gonna take practice. It's not gonna just come naturally. See right here, brake in, no clutch yet, not yet. Now I'll hit that clutch in and go to neutral. So I'm gonna go from a stop here. We'll do a little bit of an aggressive drive. So I dump the clutch a little faster, rev it out. And that's just, it's everything I just said, but just a little faster than usual. We'll get you the speed you want. But the thing with manuals is it's a lot trickier to go fast and race. It takes a lot more skill than driving an automatic, but that's the fun of it, is you get better with it over time. Anyway, that's my take on manual driving. Hopefully I helped some of you guys out there so you can just go drive a manual. Don't be afraid. Another idea is just go test drive one at the dealership. Just pretend like you know. I know a lot of guys say they know in theory, but it's one thing to know in theory, it's another thing to go out there and do it. So I would say go out there and just try it, and you'll have some fun, and before you know it, you'll only want to drive manual. I talk to a lot of people at my job, and they say they used to drive a manual, or they say, hey, do you know how to drive a manual? I'm like, yeah, and you know, maybe they got an automatic now and they miss driving a manual, and I miss driving a manual. That's why I got another one. They're so much fun. All right, girlfriend's gonna drive us home from the grocery store now. She knows how to drive a manual. Pretty cool.
Sometimes.
If your girl can't drive a manual, man, I don't know what to tell you guys. Yep, gotta rip that e-brake. And every car's reverse system is gonna be a little different. This car, the reverse lockout is to the left and up with a little lockout thing right there. Some cars are different though. The BRZ has that. And one thing I noticed that she does sometimes is she keeps her foot over the clutch, and she's not using the clutch, but it is a bad habit, and that's what I was talking about earlier, is that's called riding the clutch. But if you're not touching it, it doesn't count. But like you're so close to it that it could, I would say you don't want to do that. Here comes a GLI. It's a nice car. Yeah, but it's a simple thing, but it takes a lot of practice. And she's been driving my car. I let her drive it sometimes. She's thinking about getting the Civic with the manual, so this is good practice. Oof! It happens. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. Everyone dumps the clutch sometimes or kills it. And see how quickly she recovered from that though? Killed it. All you gotta do is keep that clutch in, just hold it in. If you're worried about anything and you're mentally freaking out, all you gotta do is what? You just hold that clutch in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull this down so the sun's not blinding the video. Yeah. So yeah.
Like this car is different though too of the manual I was used to driving.
Yeah, every manual's a little different, but like when you know, it's like swimming. So that's something to think about too. But yeah, that's a good point I think I was just making there, is like people that, like when you're in traffic, it's stressful, it's easy to freak out, there's lots going on, you know. And if you do dump the clutch, just, if you're ever thinking about what to do, just keep the clutch in. Or if you kill it, I mean, just hold that clutch in, because once that clutch is in, you can use your brake to stop. Don't mess with the gear selector at all. Just keep the clutch in an emergency. Like getting the smooth shift, that's like another thing in and of itself, is shifting smooth. So, but once you know, and then you just get better with it. And your own car, you're gonna be the best driver of your own car, obviously. But you hop into a different car and it's gonna be like, oh, that clutch feels weird, or oh, the gear shifter feels weird. You know,
the ratios are all slightly different.
Yeah.
Between the gears.
Exactly.
So it does make a little difference, but I agree with what you're saying with once you know, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, guys. Anyway, like the video, hit the comment section if you guys want to say what's up. We make videos every Monday on this channel. Appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you have a great day. Peace.